Perhaps you've seen the York Minster film in this series. You may also have seen Beverley Minster. Well, today we're travelling from York by bus for a day trip to Selby. We will be looking at the parish church, which is still known as Selby Abbey. This building was the church of an abbey founded by Benedict of Auxerre in 1069. The abbey grew in fame and became one of the wealthiest abbeys in Yorkshire, being visited by many of the English kings. In spite of clear instructions to the contrary specified in the Bible, this house, like York Minster in fact, was built on sand, literally that is. It has suffered several serious collapses as a consequence. It has also suffered several serious fires, and then of course suffered the consequences of the dissolution. Now just behind us here is this memorial to 51 Squadron. Everything besides the church building itself seems to have disappeared, no doubt into the hands of the usual thieves and entrepreneurs. Even the church itself began to decay. It was unused for some time after the dissolution, only becoming the parish church of Selby in 1618. Now, can you see all those beings keeping an eye on you from the roof line? That's what they had to use before closed-circuit television cameras were available. Even after becoming the parish church, its troubles weren't over. Naturally, during the ascendancy of the so-called Puritans, anything which didn't wear black and have a solemn face was smashed up. In 1690, the tower fell down. During the 1700s, the building continued to decay, and it appears that eventually the congregation used only the choir area for worship, it being the only part of the church under any sort of maintenance. The tide eventually began to turn when our old friends the Victorians got into their stride. Restoration started to be undertaken. But even then, a very bad fire in 1906 again made it look that Selby Abbey would end up like Fountains, Revo, etc. as a ruined skeleton. But fortunately, there were people around who restarted restoration, which has now brought us what we see today. A magnificent edifice, inside and out, though obviously with a very large and ongoing maintenance bill. Near the altar, a 14th century window features the heraldic arms of the ancestors of George Washington. The shield, with 3 red stars and 2 red bands, is believed to have been the model for the US flag. The east end window depicts the tree of Jesse, giving the ancestry of Christ right back to Jesse. And if you wish to check it, here is the key. I am told that the interior of the building bears some similarity to that of Durham Cathedral, the design having been based upon it. The open choir screen and the choir stalls are by Aldred Scott, who supervised the 1909 restoration project. The chancel stonework is thought to have been designed by Henry Yeavely, who we met at Canterbury. In 1912, the south transept, which had been destroyed years earlier when the tower fell in 1690, was rebuilt. In the side windows, representations of the royal family were inserted: Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, and King Edward VII with Queen Alexandra. In 1969, our Queen Elizabeth distributed the Royal Maundy money on the occasion of the 900th anniversary of the foundation. You will like Selby Abbey, grand enough, like Beverley Minster, to be a cathedral, but with a friendly, homely atmosphere. It is one of the 20 members of the Greater Churches group. Our visit is nearly over. We're looking back towards the west door through that open choir screen. As we leave, a reminder of the work that is constantly ongoing to keep this building in good shape. The doorway on the northern porch, which we saw earlier, is Norman, as is that of the main west door. The statue you see here is of King George V, and this probably reflects the fact that the west towers were heightened in 1935.